Hello, and welcome to the Empowerography podcast. This is a platform created for women's voices to be heard and a place to share their stories, journeys, and successes with the world for the purpose of helping other women who might be on similar journeys. We are empowering women one episode at a time. I'm your host, Brad Walsh, so kick back, grab one of your favorite beverages, and enjoy the stories. If you've ever felt like your voice didn't matter, like your story wasn't worth sharing, you're not alone. At the Empowerography Live in-person conference this year, we brought together voices from around the world, women who chose to stand up, speak out, and share stories that changed lives. And here's the truth. Your voice matters too. If you've ever felt that pull to share your story as a guest on a podcast, to start your own podcast, or step into your power, this isn't random. It is your invitation. Head over to empowerographypodcast.com and see how you can turn your voice into impact, because your story isn't just yours. It's someone else's survival guide. Hello there, Brad Walsh here, your host of the Empowerography podcast, a platform that was created to help elevate and amplify the voices of women through sharing their stories. Today, my guest is Elisabeth Carson. She is a global speaker, entrepreneur, founder of Enhanced Flow, a movement that helps people rebuild their lives from the inside out by aligning mind, body, and soul. Her work bridges neuroscience, trauma healing, emotional mastery, and biohacking, uniting science and spirituality through lived experiences and personal transformation. Welcome, Elisabeth. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. How are you doing?
I am fantastic. Thank you so much for taking and making the time to be here with me today. I'm honored and so excited to have you here. I cannot wait to jump in and share about all the beautiful light you put out into the world through the work you're doing and a little bit about your journey and your story. With that being said, let's get this party started. Many people stumble into healing work because of curiosity. Some stumble into it because of pain and personal stories. What was it for you, curiosity or pain? And how did that drive your initial steps into creating Enhanced Flow?
It was definitely through pain. It woke me up, and it took multiple painful experiences throughout my lifetime to really continue to open my eyes and continue to create awareness within me. So for the first time when I was 19 years old, I experienced neurofeedback. And that was after a very long drug binge. I was taking a bunch of ecstasy and I lost so much weight. And I remember looking at myself in the mirror, not recognizing myself anymore. And I looked like a sack of bones. And I'm like, this isn't good. I need to stop. So I stopped. And then when I stopped, I realized that my brain was so inflamed and so damaged, I couldn't even finish sentences. And I always prided myself off of being very naturally smart. So this was really messed up for me. I'm like walking around in this daze. So one day I was over at a friend's house and his next door neighbor came up to me and was like, I heard that you're wanting to work on your brain. I have this device that can help you. And I was like, sign me up, please, whatever it takes. I'm like, I'm there, let's go. That night we went and I experienced neurofeedback for the first time. And for the next 5 days, I continued to do neurofeedback. And so that provided me space between stimulus and response for the first time in my life. I finally had that space to think, to make conscious, intentional action there. And it was like contrast. I was like, oh my God, I can think, I can see, I know what this is, I understand. But because I did not dive into that healing mode right away,
Right.
I went into my old environment, all those new neural connections that could have formed, pruned away. And I just kind of went back into the toxicity. That, for instance, was a moment in my life that woke me up, right?
Yeah.
I had many of those instances. Another time was when I went to jail. Another time was when I got pregnant. Another time was when my life got dismantled for the first time 5.5, 6 years ago. And another time was last year when my life got dismantled again. So it's every time that something knocks you down.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've studied this work so much, I don't run away from the pain like I used to in my teens and early 20s. I go into the pain so that I can grab the gifts in there, change my life so I don't attract that type of craziness into my life ever again, right? You have to change the frequency, change the vibration, take responsibility and accountability so you can make and create different actions to produce a different outcome. So it's just been a whole life journey of this.
A roller coaster. Holy shit. But now you have the tools in order to bring yourself back into where you need to be much, much quicker than the first go.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. When I got pregnant and realized that I was pregnant, that was when I was like, all right, let me put this crazy lives behind me and start following the law and doing things that will not get me locked up. So my son will not end up in foster care.
Right.
Try to just do better. And at that age, I knew that there were things out there that could help because I experienced neurofeedback when I was 19 years old. So when I was 20, when I was pregnant, that's when I dove deeply into this work and started to research, study, and experience things.
So was that point when you got pregnant with your son, was that the final point for you where you're like, I cannot, that's the last fucking time. I cannot go back to that shit anymore. I'm done.
Yeah. Yes, I would say yes. In a way, it woke me up to realizing that I had to be responsible for another human being. And the interesting thing about it was I was actually on the run with my son's dad now that when I got pregnant. It was like we found out that I was pregnant and I was like, we got to do something. I was like, we can't be on the run forever with a baby. Have a baby on the run. We have to do something. So Bark tried to turn himself in. And the day that I completely shifted, I remember it like it was yesterday. My son's dad, the prosecutor ended up giving my son's dad 3 months with our son before he had to turn himself in. On the way to driving to turn himself in Pennsylvania, actually, we were driving with this newborn in the car. We pull up to the prison. I'm getting out the car, getting the baby ready, and he grabs our son, puts him on his shoulders. We walk into the prison. I remember it was like this huge open room, and there was like a metal detector and 2 guards. And then I remember this guard comes out this back door and the door slams shut and it echoes through the place and everything is happening in slow motion here.
Yeah.
For me. And I'm hearing the handcuffs and I'm like clankety,
Holy shit.
closer and closer. And I'm watching my son's dad. He takes our son off his shoulders. He pulls him over his head and he looks at him. And mind you, my son and I, we were in deep freeze, right? Our nervous systems, we were disassociated in dorsal tone. It was just complete freeze. So we did not feel anything, no emotions, right? That's why we got in trouble, no fear. So I'm watching him look at our son and I'm seeing the emotion come over his face and the tears start to drip. I'm like, this is serious. It was like, and then all of a sudden my gut, like I could feel my gut just drop out of my stomach. And I watched him. He gave him a kiss on his forehead, handed him to me. I take him on my hip, tiny baby, and I'm watching my son's dad put out his hand and the guard cuff him and walk him away. And that's when I realized, I looked around and I'm like, my life is empty because I'm empty. So I need to change this. This is not the life that I want to provide for my child. And so that is the day when I was like, no more.
That's a huge fucking awakening.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Deep move on it. Yeah.
So many people spend their lives chasing validation without realizing it. It's rooted in something much, much deeper. When you look back at your years in modeling, acting, appearing in music videos, were you living your dream or trying to outrun your pain, or was it a bit of both?
It was definitely both. So many people don't even realize that they go through their life and they are stamped as successful, right? But their stamp of success is basically outwardly third dimensional accumulation, right? That's what we call successful. But I know some of the richest people, billionaires, millionaires, that are miserable inside because they have been running away from their pain their whole entire lives by grabbing the next project, by becoming successful and keep striving for the next success and the next success. They'll never be happy and comfortable and just relaxed where they're at. They're always running to the next thing. And that is a trauma pattern. So I've definitely had that. I was running away from all of my trauma all throughout my teens and 20s, really. It was running away from pain. I was distracting myself from pain because I was scared to sit with myself. And here's something really deep that I realized. I wonder, a lot of people, they can live through ego and become very successful, right?
Yeah.
They can rich, beautiful women, great, whatever it is, they're attracting all of this accumulation of these things and they're very successful and happy, right?
Yeah.
But what happens to those people that are living through ego if you stick them in a dark room alone with God? Can they be happy?
No, of course not, because they have to sit with themselves. They have to look within, and that's what they're running from, is that looking within. It's so funny because society puts these people on a pedestal, and so many people, this celebrity worship culture and all this other bullshit. And we think that because all of these people have money, they don't have problems. They have fucking just as many problems as you. They're on a different scale because they have more money, but that money doesn't make them any better than anybody.
Nope, it doesn't. It
doesn't.
doesn't.
And fix the fucking problems.
No, it doesn't. But you know what? We've been it's like falsely conditioned to think that everything outside of us matters more than anything inside of us.
Yep.
So it's like our trauma and all of these patterns, it's not our fault, but it's our responsibility to fix it.
Yes.
Right? When we realize that, hey, this is not the way.
And everybody has trauma. Everybody. I don't care who you are.
Thank you. No, everybody. And it's false when people say that, oh, I don't have any trauma. Trauma is not about something big or small that happens in it's about how your nervous system perceives the external stimulus. And if your nervous system does not get a chance to finish that stress response, then that will get imprinted in your body as a fractured memory and charge until you clear.
And it manifests in dis-ease. And if you don't deal with it, that's what's going to happen. And you're the one who's going to suffer.
Yes.
And you can't compare your trauma to someone else's. Everybody's trauma is different. No one's is worse than anybody else's. We all have it. You just have to fucking do the work. Sit with yourself.
Yes.
And that's what scares people the most, because looking inside, they don't want to see what they'll fucking find.
But reach into that pain bag, and that's where you find your power. That's where you find your purpose.
Exactly.
I always tell people, jump over the fear fence, because on the other side of that fear fence, the grass is greener. That's where the magic is.
Yes.
But you have to jump over the fear fence to get there. It's not easy. This work is not easy. This lifestyle is not easy. It is not easy to be a good person when you're up with all of these things that, it's very sexy. It feels good to be a victim, right? Because it takes pain off of you. It takes the pressure off of you, right? But then the minute that you become a victim to your external reality, you lose all your power to create it. So I'm saying, it's like we have to turn the mirror around and look at ourselves and realize that we are the creators and architects of our reality. And everything externally, it's only a reflection of what is happening internally. It is not responsible for our lives. And the minute you make everything else responsible for your life, then you're stuck, you're trapped, and you're leveled off. You're never grow.
You're done. And anything is possible. As you said, we are the architects of our own lives. We are the creators, the painters, the writer, whatever you want to call it. You have the ability to create anything you can dream up. Anything you can imagine is possible. Anything.
Yes.
And that's your power.
Yes.
You have spoken openly about drugs, alcohol, partying, chasing validation, as we're talking about. During that time in your life, what was the lie that you were telling yourself back then that kept you stuck in that cycle?
I had to say that this is what I have to do to feel like I belong. I felt like a lot of alcoholics go through this. And let me just also put something out there too. So I was a party girl, right? I was never the one that was strung out on the streets, living in boxes. I was never the one to be by myself in the house drinking and doing drugs because I was by myself, right?
Right.
I was one that was modeling, acting popular out there at all the parties, the hottest parties. Cocaine in LA was like a drink of water. You ask, you want a glass of water? It's the same thing. So I was just in the hip crowd at all the hottest parties, having the most fun with the biggest celebrities, all that bullcrap, right? So I was in that box. But when I talk about drugs and alcohol and being addicted to drugs and alcohol, I want to just put it out there for people to see that you don't have to be strung out on the streets to be addicted to drugs and alcohol. Take accountability for your life and being that party girl or party guy, because at that point, yes, you're using these substances to feel a certain way because you can't feel that way naturally. So therefore, that is an addiction, right?
Hmm.
If you need to take a substance to feel a certain way because you can't create that naturally, then that is an addiction. So therefore, probably 9% of this planet has been addicted to drugs and alcohol. I just openly talk about it because I was that party girl and I'm trying to mirror it to other people saying, yes, you can be a party girl and still be addicted to drugs and alcohol. You know what I'm saying? Let's
Yeah.
just be real with ourselves about
Yeah.
this. So,
Yeah, because when people think about addiction, they think exactly what you described, strung out, living under a bridge in a box, all of these different things. And that's not what it is.
uh,
Sorry, that's not completely the vision or the image of what that is. There are many images of that and many facets of that.
yes, yes, exactly. You could be addicted to scrolling,
Yeah.
addicted to food, addicted to porn,
Yeah.
addicted to shopping, addicted to your partner. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? It's all about, why are you trying to create this feeling inside? Are you trying to run away from a feeling that you have? What is the purpose and reason behind what you're doing, right?
Hmm.
For me, I smoke some cannabis here and there.
Yeah.
But when I went through my life dismantling last year, I stopped smoking that day because I needed to be clear, right? So it was like I wasn't grabbing a substance to cover up the way that I was feeling. I was getting rid of the substance so I could think clearly, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
That's what I want to encourage people to get to, is to really notice and what is the reason why I'm taking this drink, right? Now, it took me such a long time to go out with friends or go to a club and feel like I belonged, right? Because that
Right.
was my illicit drink, because I need that to belong. I thought I was the party girl, the freaking most extroverted extrovert in the whole world. But come to find out, I am the most introverted introvert in the world without alcohol. So I don't really belong at clubs because I'll just be looking like a little bit overwhelmed with all the too much for me. So I was using the alcohol to be able to step outside of my comfort zone and fit in and belong in a place where I naturally would not fit in or belong.
Yeah.
So I was running away from pain. I was stuck in these loops and I was trying to be cool like everybody else that I was around. And it was just telling myself this toxic story of, in order to fit in, you got to show up to these parties and you got to engage and you got to be the girl that everybody loves to have fun with. Party animal.
Yeah. That is incredible self-awareness, though. And obviously that proves you have done the work. But the self-awareness around, okay, you smoke cannabis every once in a while, but realizing when your life was dismantled last year that I have to stop this in order to be able to be clear, to deal with it and get through it to the other side. That's huge self-awareness.
Yes, yes. And you know what? That is one of the most beautiful experiences that I have ever been through. And I would tell anybody, if you can go through a dark night of the soul, dive deep into that, because
Mhm.
on the other side of those is the most extravagant, peaceful, and amazing success that you'll ever experience. And I'm not talking success as in you'll get jobs and money. No,
Right.
I'm talking
Yeah.
success within. It's like the awareness, the completeness, the presence, and the diving into that pain made me open my heart so much more than it ever has before. If you run from it, you're closing your heart. You're running away from the work. It's not like those feelings aren't going to live there inside of your body. It's just
Mhm.
that you're away from it, so that the physical, the energetic ball that you've just stuffed, once you might not feel it, but it will manifest later as a
Mhm.
physical. You don't
Yeah.
deal with it.
It's not going anywhere. It will
Yeah.
not go away. It's going to be there. Yeah. Like you said, you may stuff it down as far as you can, but it's still there and it will explode. It will come out eventually at
Yeah.
some point. You've mentioned that you spent time in jail. You're incredibly open about that. That's a moment most people would try to hide. They don't like talking about it. There's shame around it, right? And so what did sitting in that cell force you to finally see about yourself that you had been avoiding?
So jail for me was very interesting. I guess it made me see how broken the system is, to be honest, and made me want to fight it more. Jail is not a place where people go to get better. Jail is a place and prison is a place where people go to get better at their hustle and to get opportunity to learn how to hustle better. And it's not there to really rehabilitate anybody, because the treatment that you get in jail is it's ridiculous. I didn't see the sun for months. I didn't go outside for
Wow.
There was even one instance where a CO, this might be, I'm sorry, I'm like
No,
a
it's
woman,
okay. No, go ahead. No, it's fine.
but I had my period
Mm-hmm.
and my pants, and I asked the CEO, can I have a new pair of pants, please?
Mm-hmm.
And she ignored me. So I literally was so embarrassed and humiliated that I just stayed on my bed for 3 days until somebody, a new CO, till her shift was off, and someone else gave me a new pair of pants. Like
3
and they
days?
3 days. 3 days. They treat you like you're a dog, like worse than a dog, like the bottom of the shit of the pond. They treat you like that. And you know what? Humans that make mistakes and bad choices, yes, there needs to be consequences. But the treatment, like to that extent, is just awful, right? And then you're feeding these prisoners and people in jail this poisonous food, like expired milk. We got 2 white bread and a bologna every single day for dinner. That was our dinner. 2 pieces of white bread and 1 piece of bologna was our dinner every single night. And if you were pregnant, you got 4 pieces of bread and 2 pieces of bologna, and that was your diet. So here's the thing. Yes, people need to get in trouble. Yes, there needs to be consequences. There needs to be some work within these broken systems, because they are not created to help anybody get better. Number one, our software creates our hardware, right? So think about it. So our thoughts create brain patterns and actually our physical brain. So if you go through massive amounts of trauma as a young child, then your brain is going to grow like that with those toxic patterns. They've even seen that children that have gone through massive amounts of trauma have bigger amygdalas, have smaller hippocampuses. Your amygdala, your fear center of the brain. Your hippocampus is where you storage of memory and where you take in everything. So those parts of your brain are not working the way that a healthy developed brain would. So therefore, your actions are going to reflect that. And people that have gone through massive amounts of trauma, they don't have space between stimulus and response, right? They literally just react. And if they had all of this charge that they stuff down, which is what you do as a young child, because that's the only way you can survive, then we're going to have massive reactions to stimulus, right? So for somebody that has been beaten up their entire lives, that has maybe got hit in the head and now has a dysfunctional brain and dysfunctional blood flow in an area, and now that person loses their temper, acts out of complete reaction, maybe kill somebody. Now they're in the rest of prison for the rest of their lives. So what I'm saying is broken. Not to say that the action was okay. No, it absolutely not. But how can we address the people where they can actually see what they've done, choose to do better, and then continue to choose to do better? Because jail and prison doesn't do it for you. It does the opposite. So yeah, that's what I realized in jail, how broken our systems are.
You still deserve to be treated as a human being. You're still a human. And yes, they should be getting the help that they need inside those 4 walls, and help them to get better so that they can become better and get out eventually and be a good citizen. They're still human. Bottom line, they're fucking human beings.
Exactly. And the problem with that is the reintegration back into society is impossible. My prosecutor stuck me with 2 felonies, so I couldn't get it expunged. So I've had to walk through my life with a felony record. And it's incredibly hard for me to get jobs. I don't have limiting beliefs, so I was able to burst through all of those things. It's like, oh, you can't get your real estate license with a felony record. I'm like, screw you. Yes, I can. I'm getting my real estate and being one of the top realtors in Michigan for a while. So screw that. Limiting beliefs are not for me. But for the average person, right? If the average person says, oh, you can't get your license, you have a felony, the person is going to go in their shell, be ashamed, try to find something else. And then that person that gets turned on by this job, that job, this job, that job, now what do? They have no more options, right? They got to feed their kids. What are they going to do?
Crime.
If anything ever prevented me from feeding my child. I don't care what I got to do. I'm doing
Yeah.
it. I don't
Yeah.
care. Oh, what do you think's going to happen?
Of
You know?
course. And they'll end up right back in prison again.
Yeah.
I think that's what the system is created to do.
Yeah.
It needs to be dismantled and rebuilt fucking properly to help people. Just like so many other systems in the world, but
Yeah.
we could go down a whole rabbit hole there.
Yeah.
People love comeback stories, but they rarely talk about the moment before the comeback, the moment when everything falls apart. What was your true rock bottom moment? The one where you realize if I don't change, my life is going to destroy me.
Usually people don't talk about the moment before the comeback. Shoot, my moment was talking about brand. Yeah. You know what? Sorry.
That's okay. No, it's okay.
Yeah, no, yeah, it was crazy. So the question again.
What was that moment, like that rock bottom moment that you realize if I don't change, my life is going to destroy. It's done.
Yeah. I had two of those moments in my life when I was 14 years old.
14?
I was in a no hope place. I wanted to die. I literally wanted to die. I was laying on the grass outside at 3 a.m. I was drunk and I was just I was in complete shambles. This was right after I had gotten sent to boot camp. I'd just gotten home and thinking I was going to integrate back into life, go back to my school and everything with my friends. No, my parents were like, oh, no, you're going to boarding school. You're shipping off in 6 days. So pack your shit. And I had just told my high school sweetheart at the time that I loved him. So it was like this sparking first love. Now I'm being flown across the freaking country and I'm gone at school. And so it was just one of the worst moments in my life because I was adopted. So that abandonment is my core wound.
Yeah.
So I was being by my family abandoned. It was horrible. And so I felt like I wanted to die in that moment. And yeah, that was one of the worst moments in my life when I realized this is hard. Life is hard. And it took me a while to build myself back up from that moment. That was the darkest moment of my teens and swung me into all type of bad situations because I'm like, if the world is unsafe and going to treat me like this is how I was feeling. I was the victim. If the world is going to treat me like this, then I'm going to treat the world worse. That was like, so I went into that crazy mindset for a while. And then another time was my birthday, actually, in 2024. And it was a day that everybody knows about the attack and the debate that went viral. And then the other 3.5-hour live that went viral that caused the entire world to attack us for months. And I was the one who stood in front of that and was taking all of that negativity in so I could delete everything so we could continue trying to keep a positive attitude over there for work. And so after months of me taking in all of that negativity, on top of that, I was burnt out from working for 4.5 years, 14 to 16-hour days with no breaks.
Jesus.
I was burnt. My hormones were all out of whack. I was stressed. I was overwhelmed. I was carrying that company on my shoulders as well as being a wife, being CEO, it was everything. A mother.
Everything to everybody.
Everything smacked me across the face at once. And I was just in a place where I was like, I broke down and literally went to the no hope place again. And I was like, I don't want to be here. This is too much hard. This is just insane. And the minute that I had that thought, my son popped in my head and I'm like, fix yourself. And so I called somebody and I'm like, I need help right now. I'm not okay. And yeah, it was like a build up from there. So that was the day that I realized, though, I'm like, I have only experienced this feeling once before in my life. And for me to feel like this, something must change because I am not myself. I am incredibly far away from myself. This is not who I am. This is not what I teach. I'm not okay. And so I made the conscious decision that day to work on myself, whatever means necessary to try to bring myself back into happiness. And that kind of led me to needing to step away from the company because it was literally killing me inside. Like led me to need distance and space from some of the people that I was around. And honestly, that kind of probably led to April 10th when I was surprised, but my whole life got dismantled and I lost everything. And
holy shit.
Everything in a state of strength, though. You know what I'm saying? It's like my birthday was in February, and then April 10th is when I lost everything. So I had that time to work and bring myself back and create the awareness and do some of the healing. And so that's when I knew, when I lost everything and everything was just like, it was gone in a second. I'm like, oh, okay, I can do this. And let me try to shift my thought, right? Because the minute that you feel betrayed, you go into victim mentality.
Right.
You want to, oh, screw them.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to I was letting my human body think those, but I was observing that. I was observing, like, look at how you're reacting right now. And okay, body, because you have been screwed over so many different times in life. I see that you're reacting like that. So let me just hold this space for you. So my awareness would be telling the crazy mind, hey, I'm here. I'm holding you. It's going to be all right.
I got you.
For one, it created that space, that distance between that reaction. So I wasn't living in my body during the reaction. I was holding my body during the reaction. And through it, I was flipping the way that I was thinking about things. So I would allow the crazy mind to go, feel that, but then switch it. No, you get a brand new slate to build whatever you want to build right now. And God, source, universe, whatever you want to call it, works in the most beautiful ways. Everything is happening for you, not to you.
Yes.
So this is bring forward divine purpose and reason. So do and embody and love it. And so that's what I kept trying to flip and tell myself. And knowing about neuroscience and how your brain creates connections, I knew that the more I flipped and flipped, that neural connection was going to get stronger and stronger until that became my automatic. And that's basically what happened.
Rewire the neural pathways with the thoughts. And that is incredible from February to April to be that strong and to have flipped the switch to rewire those pathways, to know that's okay. I'm going to be okay. Everything's going to be fine. This is a new canvas for me to start painting on. That's pretty fucking incredible. And the turnaround time, though, so quick. That's crazy.
It's all the years of work that I've done. So it's knowledge is power, but applied knowledge is true power, right? So it's like I have the knowledge about all of the healing things, about how to work through stress, trauma, how to get it out of your body, how to process, how to do. It's like I've studied this stuff for almost 20 years of my life. So it's like I knew what to do and what not to do. So saying it was easy by any shape or form, by any means, but it was what I had to do. And so it's like I made a conscious decision, even on April 10th. I'm like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go through my pain, and I'm going to inspire others that they can go through the worst shit in their lives and they can go through pain and still show up. And so that's what I decided to do. I started going live more. I launched my brand ASAP. I really wanted to get out there because I knew that in knowing, look, my life got dismantled April 10th, but I had 2 girlfriends going through terrible divorces at the time. So I was seeing how this was taking these women out, man. It was causing massive amounts of depression and sickness, autoimmune condition in one. And I'm like, no, we don't have to allow this to happen to our bodies. There is better ways to move through these things. And so that's what I was trying to show up for. Like the people that broken and in those no hope places, this is what you can do. You can do this, and this will help you move through that quicker. Or try this and this. Or maybe today you can do this and this. I don't know.
Amazing. Being in and of service through your pain, helping other people, turning your pain into purpose to help people. I love it. Transformation requires radical honesty. What was the hardest truth you had to admit to yourself in order to start your healing?
Probably that I don't need anybody to be successful. I think throughout my life, I've had this pattern of really building other people and other people's brands and other people's missions and hiding behind the person to create what they wanted to create, because I always felt like I needed somebody to be something. And that's childhood trauma, goes back to early patterns and everything. And so that's what I created in my life over and over again. And I've seen the pattern of me building up somebody and then building up the company and then just getting cut out like that. Like literally just, hey, you're done. Boom.
Wow.
And now work for no reason. And that happened 3 times in my life.
Holy shit.
3 companies that I put blood, sweat, and tears in. I'm talking years of work. and hours, thousands of hours of work that I put in to build and create and help to establish brands for other people. And every single time, and it got worse each time. The first time, like, you're done. The second time, it was an ultimatum. And then it was, you're done. And then it was a continuation of trying to drag my name and spread lies and rumors about
Holy
me.
shit.
Then recently, it was the same thing, but worse. It's been insane. And so that is God's source universe showing me. That's why, God, follow the red flag. Don't turn the red flags pink, because the more pink you keep turning those flags, your whole life, it's like you don't want to wait for God to smack you over the head to say, this is not your path. You want to follow hints. So it's easier. It's like easier.
Flow.
People, the crazy new life, right? Not literally everything in a day. That's not the best way to go about changing your life. Follow the signs, follow the intuition. That's one of my biggest messages that I've been speaking the last year is follow your intuition. Intuition will always tell you the truth, and it will always guide you in the right way.
But that's hard to do when you don't even remember that it's there, because with so many people, it's been conditioned and tamped so far down within that you don't even fucking remember it's there. It's there. We all have it. It's just a matter of learning to, or remembering first of all, and then learning to trust it and use it.
Yeah. I use it, right? So it's like we're born as these pure, perfect souls, like the center of the. And then boom, we get our hearts broken, boom, by our parents. They do something mean to us, and now we build a wall, right? And then we go through a breakup, wall. So now throughout life, we are so far away from that core, which is that direct connection to source. We start to align with our masks, with our shields, with the personality parts that aren't even of truly us here, right? So it's up to us. We have to peel back the layers by doing the work, right? Dealing with the emotion and trauma and stress and patterns that were created in childhood to save us, but now that we are continuing to take in adulthood are ruining our lives. It's for us to change those patterns. Strip back the onion so you can be that pure center source connected, and that is when your intuition will scream at you. My intuition screams at me at this point. I'm so connected, and it's beautiful to be this connected because it's like you don't have to question anything. It's like the signs are there. You're always held. The synchronicities will always guide you in the right direction. And it's so funny. I was having a meeting with my team yesterday, and I was like, you know what, guys? Because I've been a little bit flustered lately, a little overwhelmed. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I've had this energy. I'm like, today I choose to let it all go and understand and know that God's source universe has us and will always provide the signs to walk in the right direction. And I'm like, I am only going to follow the signs. I'm putting the ego to the side at this point, and we are only going to move forward when something shows up that's a clear sign. So it's about looking for these things too. We don't look for signs.
No, we have to pay attention.
Yes. And you have to ask for the help from the other side. Or else
and they will help you if you communicate. If you ask, your guides will always be there to support you and help you. And I think it's important too to mention that with what you just said about you being flustered, and give yourself fucking grace, because that shit's going to happen. We are human beings. These days we're going to have them, or these moments, whatever, we're going to have them. So give yourself the grace and space when it does happen, as long as you don't stay mired in that shit. Yeah. And you are able to, you realize that, okay, wait a minute, this isn't me. I need to let it go through me and then take out the gift and move on. Yeah. That grace and space is so important.
Yes, it is.
Because we're our own worst enemies.
No, we are. I always ask my clients, how would you feel if you talked to your best friend like how you talk to yourself? Would you? Would you guys still be? No, you wouldn't.
No.
So I tell people sometimes when you have that voice that's so incredibly hard on yourself, that's usually rooted from childhood, right? Like some sort of perfectionism or something. For me, it was like my parents showed me love when I would get A's. So it's like I to perform to receive love. So if I'm not performing at the fullest capacity and I'm not perfect, then if you're a freaking idiot, you dumbass, oh, you got to do that. That's so fucking wrong. You're just stupid. It's going. And so instead of allowing that voice to just go and scream at you, What I do now is I picture myself in a chair across me in my mind's eye at 3 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what would I say to that little 3-year-old, that cute little kid in that chair across from me? Because that voice is rooted in that child. That's a child having a tantrum, okay?
Right.
Well, how would you calm that child down? You wouldn't calm that child down by mirroring what the child is doing to you, would you? No,
No.
you gently start to console that child. And
Mm-hmm.
that is what we have to start doing with ourselves. We have to be gentle on ourselves. It's literally our children in our inner selves
Yeah.
that are seeking for attention instead of a parent.
Thank you very much for those tips, Elizabeth. I love those. You talk about moving from survival to sovereignty. What does sovereignty actually mean in the context of healing?
So sovereignty for me, it really means freedom within my own world to create and pay attention to and have in my energetic sphere exactly what I want. A lot of people are controlled by external stimulus,
Mm-hmm.
and I am not. I don't know what's happening in government. I don't really know. I just don't really know about too much stuff that I know is going to make me feel negative, because no amount of stress will ever add to the collective in a positive way. And
Right.
all the feelings, right? If you are sitting in a house alone and you're feeling like crap, then those feelings are going to radiate externally, and that negativity, that energy will radiate externally and add to the collective consciousness. It sounds crazy, but Harvard now proves that thoughts from your mind travel 10,000 miles. So think about it. Your thoughts and the way you feel affect other people. So if you're sitting alone in your house stressing out all day, that's not helping anybody, because you're paying attention to the news and you're staying on top of what's happening in the world and the waters. You're not helping anybody. You're only stressing yourself out and creating dis-ease within your vessel. That's not going to do anything for anybody. So what I would recommend people to do is pay attention only to what you can control. And if you're finding that something is stressing you out, stop paying attention to it, because it's all creating inflammation in your body, right? So I posted a picture. I got invited to an event at Mar-a-Lago,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't subscribe to politics, nor have I ever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't subscribe to the systems. I don't pay attention to shit. I don't even know the government was shut down for some months earlier last year. And I don't even remember that. I don't know. It's my personal right,
Yeah.
because I can only do what I can do. And
Mhm.
if I am going to show up in the way that I speak about, right, the conscious healing teacher, then
Mhm.
I can't be sitting stressing myself out by paying attention to pages that stress me out and put me into fight or flight, watching the news, reading Epstein crazy things.
Yeah.
That's to ruin my attitude. That's going to ruin the way that I feel, and that will have me showing up in negativity. Do
Mhm.
I choose that? No, I am free from that. I have released those chains of all of this external drama that none of us even really know what's really happening
Exactly.
my life purposefully. And yes, the event at Mar-a-Lago, it was a fantastic, beautiful event that has led me into so many other speaking engagements and great business connections. And I posted a picture on it about it the next day, hundreds of followers, because people, oh, you support child rapists. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Second of all, I don't support anybody. If you walk into a Walmart, does that mean that you're best friends with the Walmart founder? I don't think so.
No.
I'm saying, like, everybody needs to, this is my biggest piece of advice, mind your own damn business. You know, the better that we get within ourselves, we make the world a better place, because we cannot change anybody, but we can inspire change in others by
Mhm.
doing the work on ourselves.
Yeah.
That world's going to change, not by us paying attention to all this drama and all this.
No, because that doesn't serve anybody, least of all you. What
Right.
good is it going to do for you? It's
Yeah,
going to
exactly.
do absolutely it's going to send you into a spiral. It's not worth it. You supported you by going to that event. You were supporting you, looking at the opportunities that would come from that event. It has nothing to do with politics.
Yes, exactly. Nothing to do with politics of being there. It had not one thing was about politics being there. And probably get a lot of flack for this, because a lot of people like me to speak out on certain things that are
Mhm.
happening around the world. And I see what's happening, and I notice, and I'm aware because I like to know,
Yes.
right? It's like my teachings, that's just not what I want to teach about. I want to teach the after effects of all of the information that people are finding out. Now people are stressed out. They don't know how to work through their stress in healthy ways. That's where I want to show up. That's where I can add the most value. You know what I'm saying? I can't unpower you by pouring the gasoline onto the fire. I don't
Nope.
want to do that.
No,
And
it's
I will say there are some bad people that
of
are doing
course.
things, but it's for us to change, not try to feed that fire. We got to change by stop participating in these
Mhm.
crazy systems, taking our power back with our health, our mental health, our physical health. We can control certain things in life. What we put in our bodies, we can control. If we work out, we can control. Taking 5 minutes a day to meditate, we can control these things. And if more people started to take control of those things, the world would be a better place.
Absolutely. And I love that you said the awareness piece. Yes, it's important to have awareness, but don't go down the fucking rabbit holes. It's not going to serve you. And you can't change anything up here at this level. You have no power. The only thing you have power over is how you react to situations and you. That's it. Period.
Yep.
Done.
Yep.
Stop fucking giving your energy to all of this bullshit because you can't do anything about it.
Nope.
It's
Nope.
a waste of your time.
You're stressing yourself out. You're making your body inflamed. You're causing yourself to have dis-ease. That's going to lead to disease.
Yeah.
So just
It's
fine.
yeah, it's just crazy. So your work bridges neuroscience and spirituality, which many people see as opposing worlds. Why do you believe science and spirituality are actually saying similar things, just in different languages?
Science proves spirituality. So this is what quantum mechanics and quantum physics is proving now, that all of this stuff behind the veil, like these energies and these things, oh my God, wow, it's actually real. Quantum physics proves that everything externally outside of us exists as pure potential and unlimited possibilities, right?
Mhm.
Well, we put our conscious awareness on something and then it collapses into third dimensional reality. So I always ask people, how are you perceiving your reality? Through a lens of fear or through a lens of love? Because that is how your third dimensional reality is going to collapse into your life. So
Mm,
you might try to work on your lens of how you look at life, because that is how you're creating it, right?
right.
So honestly, science proves spirituality at this point. There's
Yeah.
so that is coming into awareness in science. So
Someone said to me just a little while ago, a few months back, that science is now just starting to catch up with spirituality.
yeah. Yeah.
Spirituality is over here, but it's starting to catch up and it's starting to show up.
Yes, it's starting to prove it. Now, in knowing and seeing these piezoelectric crystals, right, that are inside of our fascia that literally interact with the external electromagnetic fields of the world. So we're like literally taking in signals in our biology at all times, reading externally things that aren't even in our conscious awareness. So it's like these bodies are insane.
Yes, they are absolute miracles.
Aren't you
Miracles.
so freaking powerful? I was interviewing somebody yesterday
Mhm,
and we talked about the charge of our bodies. And if
mhm.
you took every single voltage that is surrounding of a cell, that how much voltage do you think that you would have?
Oh man, it would be insane. It would be
2 trillion.
too.
2 trillion. We are walking atomic bombs. All
That's
right.
crazy.
That's how much power we have. But yet, oh, my life sucks because the president did this. What? Hey, bud, you have so much energy. What are you talking about? You create your reality. Your life is not because of anyone else. You
I,
have the power.
I think right now we are alive in one of the most incredible times to be alive in the world. Yes, there's shit going on. There's darkness. Absolutely. 100%. But on the other side of that, think of the possibilities that
Oh
you
my,
have because of technology, because of all the things that we are learning, as you
yeah,
just said, quantum physics and science. Like, this is one of the greatest times to be alive in the world because anything is fucking possible. Anything.
I love it. I love being alive. I love my life. I love it even when my heart is broken and shattered. I love it. This is an experience. It's not supposed to, we're not supposed to come here to just have the most extravagant, happy, most amazing lives. That's where we come from. We come from that energy. We come
Hmm.
here to suffer so our souls can learn and grow. We
Hmm.
don't learn and grow if there's no lesson, if there's no hit of pain. There is no,
Exactly.
if everything's super easy, we're not learning anything. It
No,
takes that dismantling to really wake people up. So
yeah,
it's a beautiful thing. This
it
life is
is. It is.
For the first time, we have these things in our hands that have the answers to every single question in the entire universe.
It's crazy. You have
Well,
to experience the pain in order to appreciate the joy. You have to
yes,
have both sides of it.
yes,
Otherwise, you can't. You just cannot.
yep, yep.
This life, it's a beautiful fucking life. It really is. It's what you make of it.
Mhm.
It's your choice. We always have a choice.
Yep,
Always. Stop
yes,
playing the fucking victim
yes.
and own your shit.
Yeah. Life is a compilation of decisions. So that is it.
Mhm.
You decide, right? So your compilation of decisions is going to equal what your life becomes. So are you making the good decision or the bad decision? And our most valuable asset we have is time. So where are
Yes.
you spending it? How are you deciding to spend your time? If you want to change your life, then decide to spend your time in other ways.
Yes,
Really is.
we only have a very short amount of time on this planet that we know of. And once that time is gone, you're not getting it back. It's gone. That's it. It's not like money and all it. You can get more money. You can get another job. You can make new friends, all of these things. But once that time's gone, sorry, it's gone. You're
Yep.
not getting it back.
Exactly. Exactly.
You have now explored over 100 healing modalities, from somatic therapy to neurofeedback, as you mentioned, to biohacking. After all of that exploration, what has surprised you the most about the human mind and the body and how the body actually heals?
Just how resilient we are. Holy forking shirt balls. I was literally in a place where I had leaky gut. My brain was so fogged up, I couldn't even put thought together. I missed words all day. I was literally in a place of pure just pain and anguish and torturous just despair. I've been there. I've sat in that. And I've brought myself all the way back. I healed my gut. My brain is freaking on fire all the time. And holy crap, we are just the most magical, resilient beings. Not only our mind and the strength that we have through our awareness of who we are, like once we can really sink into that, which is really truly who we are, anything is possible. And it's the thoughts that drive everything else. So once you can really switch your thought process around, your body will become healthier. You'll see your external reality change in ways that you never even imagined. It's just incredible. It's incredible. Nothing is ever nothing can ever stop. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, always be rehabilitated. There is always a way to cure yourself
Mhm.
from whatever it is that you're going through. It all starts with belief, though. It's once you can take away those limiting beliefs,
Yeah.
then we are magical, resilient creatures.
Unstoppable.
Anything. Yeah.
I love it. I absolutely love this conversation, Elisabeth. Thank you so much for all that you're bringing in here. I love it. You talk about rebuilding life from the inside out. What is the first inner shift someone has to make if they truly want to transform?
It's awareness. So you have to first become aware that you have patterns that aren't serving you. So it's seeing that, hey, I'm hearing this voice scream at myself when I'm not perfect, but what human is perfect? So it's realizing those patterns within you. It's, oh, I realize that I'm in this toxic relationship again. What is it about me that keeps attracting this toxicity? Think about it. If you grew up in a toxic environment, then that is how your body, your nervous system, and your brain wired to receive love and safety in toxicity. So your brain and nervous system will always pick familiar pain over unfamiliar gain every single time until you make yourself aware that you have that pattern and then start to work on it and rewrite that pattern. So it's awareness. You have to become aware that you have the issue first to
Mhm.
start rewriting your life and your
Start the
identity.
work. Yeah.
Right.
Also say that healing is the real flex. What does that mean to you? And why do you think the world underestimates the power of healing as a form of true strength?
Healing is everything. That's where I think the world is starting to catch on to this at this point, because now these big companies are starting to make their people go to therapy and do all this work because
Mhm.
they're starting to realize that the more optimized the person is, guess what? That is going to make the business. If you increase the input,
Mhm.
then you increase the outputs, then of course you're going to increase what comes back to you, right? And how do we do that? We optimize our mind, our bodies, and our energy. And that is how we attract the best, most aligned, non-dramatic everything into our lives. So
Mhm.
if you're in a place where you're stuck in hypervigilant and you're always reacting because you've never done any work and you're all filled up with stress and trauma all the way up to here, all your stress cups are full. Now you're literally popping over, you're overflowing onto other people.
Mhm.
That's causing you to be dramatic in the workplace, to not make conscious, great logical decisions, because when you're triggered, your blood flow goes from your prefrontal cortex all the way to the hindbrain, and you're more in that reactionary mode now. So there's no space between stimulus and response. So what type of employee is that? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Not an employee that is going to bring you back the most dollars, is it? Because not
Time to go.
exactly. So think about it. So that's career. Now think about relationships,
Mhm.
right? If
Mhm.
you're holding patterns from your toxic childhood where your parents were fighting, maybe your dad was beating your mom, maybe your mom was beating your dad, maybe you had sexual abuse, maybe you had all these terrible things that happened to you that you've never addressed or looked at. Now you're taking these patterns into a relationship with somebody, and now that person is so what the nervous system does and brain, it tries to recreate these experiences so that we can complete with the response, right?
Right.
That we complete and get that fulfillment of closure, because what our brains and nervous systems fear most is the unfamiliar, the stuff that we don't know, right? We like to know the pattern and like to complete things.
Right.
So that's how we're able to completely move on from stuff. So you will keep attracting that narcissist into your life to keep trying to complete that response within you to get over that, right? But
Mhm.
it's not going to happen because you're searching unconsciously for that narcissist. And then on top of that, we have our hardware. We have a bundle of nerves at our brainstem called the reticular activating system that filters your reality dependent on how you feel about yourself and how you feel what reality is, right?
Mhm.
So every second of the day, we're getting hit by millions of bits of information, and we filter it down to probably 0 to about 50 bits of information.
Right.
And that take in consciously. So if you think that life is hard, then your reticular activating system is going to filter out reality for obstacles everywhere, and your life is going to be extremely hard, right?
Mhm.
If you think that all men are dogs and they're all cheaters, guess what you're going to get?
Dogs
Because
and cheaters.
you're creating that within your reality.
Mhm.
So the healing work, it makes you self-aware, so you're able to rewire these patterns that are throwing yourself automatically and unconsciously and subconsciously into these toxic cycles. It's like you can switch now. So
Mhm.
it's like what I did last year when my life got dismantled. How did I create this scenario? What did I do to
Mhm.
create this? I can change my energy and my actions so I never have to live this again.
Yeah.
What was it? Self-awareness. And so because I became self-aware and it wasn't all his fault, her fault, their fault, it was my fault. Because I took that power, it's like I was able to level up, shift my frequency and vibration, and align more with divine source God within me and create more of a higher vibrational aligned life for myself. I became a better person because I did the healing work. So that's the name of the game.
Mhm.
You become a better person when you do the healing work. It is not something that people, oh, maybe I'll try it. No, it's necessary. It's necessary for this world to become a better place, point blank, period.
And that's what we are. I believe wholeheartedly, this is what we're all here for, is to make this world a better place, to be in and of service to one another. That's why
Yeah.
you're here. So do your fucking job, do your work, take
Yeah.
radical responsibility for your shit. Own your part of it. Not saying it's all your fault, but you had a hand in it. Whether you want to believe it or not, you played a part in it, whatever it is. There's something that you have to own in that. So
Yep.
own it and do your work to contribute to the consciousness. That's what we're all here for.
Yeah. Yeah.
Period.
That's the name of the game.
It
That's
is 100%. So tell us about enhanced flow. It's all about aligning the mind, body, and soul. Tell us all the things.
yes. So I launched my brand. It was June of last year. So
Mhm.
June of 25. And you know what? I love this so much because finally, for the first time in my life, I have aligned with my message, and I'm pushing my message and my belief into the world and teaching from a place of lived experience of all of the lessons that I've learned throughout my life. And it's all me. So it's really great. So, yeah, it's all about healing, shadow work, and really optimizing mind, body, energy so that you can have more stable relationships and you can get better jobs. You can get over the level that you're hitting. You can increase your life and just become the most fulfilled being ever and live your best life. I do group coaching. I do 4-day transformations. I literally can change people's identity within less than 100 hours. It's
Wow.
incredible. I've seen massive results from my transformations. It's incredibly powerful. Oh, powerful.
That is amazing. And how long are the container? Do you work one-to-one as well?
So the transformations are 1-to-1
Okay.
and it's a day thing. We go deep. It's intensive. We do
Yeah.
intense, deep work on rewiring your subconscious and stabilizing your nervous system and then rewriting those patterns so you can step into your full power. Group coaching, I do groups. So we do 2 meetings a month. And when you sign up to my group coaching, it's like we meet and I do a deep dive on your life. And then I create a protocol for you to follow along. It's a 6-month program for each. And it's tweaking all of these little things in your life to be able to create massive outcomes. So something so simple as switching plastic out for glass in your kitchen. That will create massive outcomes. That little micro change will provide you so much more space, so much more energy. Your body is not worried about all the toxicity and et cetera, et cetera. So those small changes. So we go in and tweak all your stuff in your life. And because I've experienced over 100 different modalities, I'm able to see in people what they need, whereas somebody maybe that didn't experience all the things can't see that because it takes one to know one, right? So I can tailor certain programs for certain people and their traumas or whatever goals they're trying to hit. So that's what my group. And then I take people around the world. So I'm taking people to the foothills of the Himalayas in October.
Wow.
And Bhutan in October with my partner, Lamatashi Norbu, who is a Tibetan monk. Good. And we partnered together and we're taking people to these beautiful, amazing, energetic places this year. So that's going to be fun.
Incredible.
Launched a live podcast tour with my good friend, Dr. Brian Artis, who we've now clocked over like 15 million short form views. So we our show on the road. So we're doing a live podcast tour. And I've partnered with Mavic Approach and Divine True and Rissa Vibes to retreat at Mount Shasta at the end of June. So
amazing.
There's so much. And
congratulations.
Yeah. So if anyone needs a speaker,
Congratulations. That is all amazing. Thank you so much for sharing all that, Elisabeth. You also have what you created and you call the mirror method, which is a tool for reflection, reprogramming. How does that actually affect the brain and nervous system when someone engages deeply with themselves in that way? And tell us about the mirror method. Tell us all the things.
Yes, so I developed this thing called the mirror method. Basically, it's a 4-step process that can stop you in the moment of judgment and help you to rewire those patterns right as you're moving throughout your day. So basically, it's step 1 is to realize. So stop yourself in the moment of noticing that you're judging something. We are human beings. We have egos, so it's an automatic thing for us to judge, right? So it's not about shaming your judgment. It's just about realizing that, hey, I see this judgment here. I see I'm having it right now. And then you go into basically going into what is the root about. So ask yourself questions. I see I'm sitting here judging this. I'm just going to put it out there. This woman over here, and I'm judging her because she's wearing this and it's not. So I'm realizing this judgment. I know that I'm having it. And now let me try to find the root. Where in my life, why would I be feeling like this? Let's try to dig in here. So I do a body scan and I put my hand on the place of my body where I'm feeling that judgment at. And I ask that place the question. And I'm like, body, I feel that I'm judging this woman because she's dressed a certain way. Where could this be coming from? And sometimes your intuition and your higher self will give you that hit automatically. And maybe it's from, your mom used to judge you when you were little. And now you judge everybody. It's just an automatic thing that you're judging because that's how you were trained as a child. So realize that root, right? So now what's happening to your brain is that during the moment of judgment, your certain parts of your brain are turned on, right? So when you start to go inward, it's called interoception. And now different parts of your brain are turning on.
Okay.
So it's plugging down that mammalian brain, the default mode network that is driving you back into old childhood trauma patterns. And it's giving you back that space for conscious awareness, right? So that's what's happening during these first 2 steps. So then you go into reprogramming that. So now I realize, okay, that was my mom. All right. So now my mom taught me that judging. So now let me talk to that part of myself. So that hurt little child that was always judged by your mom, baby, it's okay. I got you. You don't have to walk around feeling like everybody's judging you. I got you and I'm here to serve you. So it's going and healing that part of yourself. This can all be done within seconds, by the way. But it's like reaching back for yourself and saying, I got you. And this is about that. It is not about this current situation. So I am now going to rewrite this and say, hey, no, this judgment came from a place of pain. Let me respect that woman over there as my equal and realize that she's probably doing the best she can do. I'm doing the best I can do. And I am going to now take an action step that is going to seal this into reality, right? So maybe now I'm going to go over to that woman and I'm going to give her a compliment.
There you go.
It is amazing. And that, boom, kind of seals this whole process into reality. Whereas if you don't take that action step, then your brain and the connections that you just shifted and made, it will come away into old patterns again. So it's like always stepping into that new energy. So it's realizing, finding the root, reprogramming, and then rewriting that story by
That
taking
is
action.
fucking powerful. Wow. And you can do that quick, like very quick. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. That is an incredibly powerful tool.
Yes.
You work with a lot of people reclaiming their power, especially women. What does it mean to heal the feminine within? And why is it often the most overlooked part of personal growth?
Yeah, you know what? Women, we incarnated with hundreds of years of trauma stamped into our body already. The wounds was a real thing. And think about the collective. 2 out of 3 women have been sexually abused at some point in their life. So that energy is always held over our heads, whether we believe it or not. It is. We need to find ourselves again, which is finding our voice, finding our creativity, finding our power again, so that we are able to stand up and stand inside of that power in a soft way, not as like the feministic, we are better than the man. Not about it at all. There in no way, shape, or form are we better than the man. We are equal to the man. We have different qualities that make us different from each other, right? What we have, a man does not. And what a man has, we do not. So this toxic balance of these energies that are happening right now, women are way more masculine, men are way more feminine. And so it's causing all of this because we are settled into our divineness of the equally balanced energies that we're supposed to have within us. It's super balanced.
Yeah.
So for a woman, it's finding our voice again, finding our power again, and then standing true to that and stop enabling the bad behavior of the narcissistic qualities that are happening. And it's like we mother these men instead of supporting and nurturing the men. We mother them. And it's just this toxic dynamic that's creating all of this weird energy that's creating this fight between the man and the woman. And we have to think about it. This is what they want.
Exactly. Yes.
They want us to be like this.
Yes.
Know that if we were in union,
they're fucked. They have no power over us. None.
Exactly. Because if we were in perfect divine union, then we're unstoppable.
First of all, we all have, both men and women have masculine and feminine within us, that energy. Second, I really believe, and I've been talking about this a lot lately, the only way that we are going to be able to move forward, I believe, in this collective, in this world, is if we stop this fucking bullshit of the warring of the man versus women. The patriarchy did this. Okay, the patriarchy it's still there. I think it's being dismantled. And I think we're seeing shifts. But if we stay stuck and keep fucking pointing fingers and blaming the patriarchy, that's where we're going to stay. I think the pendulum has swung too far the other way now, where women are saying exactly, fuck men, I don't need a man for it. We all have, like you said, women have qualities that men need and men have qualities that women need, period. So I think that we need to set aside this masculine versus feminine bullshit and come together as human beings. Period. And stand shoulder to shoulder and lift each other up and support each other, cheerlead each other. That is part of why we're here. And that's the only way forward. It's the only way we are going to make a shift of impact in this world, in this consciousness. It's the only way, period.
Yeah.
People need to wake the fuck up.
even further and realizing that, hey, just because your skin is a different color than
Yes.
mine, and we're different, doesn't mean I need to hate you or
No,
in a certain manner, right? That's
you're
a low
right.
levelness.
Yeah.
If you believe in that man, then I hate you.
Yeah.
That's low level consciousness.
It's
We have to
fucking
work
crazy. It's crazy.
it
I've
out.
heard people saying, to your point, this is what the powers that be that want. That's what they want, is us warring with each other, because then
Oh,
they can control us. But I've
yeah.
heard people saying, if you support Trump, I want none. You're done. You're dead. What are you
Yeah.
doing? These people don't give a fuck about you, yet you're
Yeah.
letting them control and rule your life like that.
Yeah.
You need to fucking check yourself.
We just have to mind our own freaking business and
Hmm.
accept people for who they are on the journey that they're on without trying to change them.
Yes,
What is it? Who are we to try to change anybody else?
exactly. Change yourself.
We are not aware of, right? The higher order that sees the children dying, the higher order that sees the woman being tortured and killed, that
Hmm.
there's a higher order and purpose for all things that is beyond the understanding of a human consciousness. So we need to understand that and accept what is happening and people for who they are on the journey that they're on.
Hmm.
And if we are not going to try to influence that, or if we are not capable of influencing that, then we need to let it go and let it
Hmm.
be.
Yeah.
Allow things to be that they're the way that they are. Because, like I said, the higher order, which is above the world, it's above the universe, it's above
Hmm.
our understanding. Everything is happening, and people might get flack for this, but everything is happening for divine purpose and reason,
Hmm.
even the stuff that we can't understand. And people will fight me on this. What about the famine? What about babies that get tortured and die? What about starvation? Ugh. Yeah, there's all of these terrible, horrible things
Hmm.
that are happening on the planet. But in my deepest belief system is that we sign up for all the troubles that we're going to experience on this planet. And maybe that baby was a soul that decided to incarnate to die at a baby age to wake up the 10,000 people that were going to see that baby die, right?
Hmm.
No. So let's just stop trying to assume everything and being gods and holier than thou. We don't know.
Yeah.
We just
That it,
allow.
that's something that I gave a lot of thought to last year, and realized you hear about young kids getting cancer, young kids dying, and I had to sit with it and realize that is their soul contract. That's what they're here to do, to teach
Yeah.
something or to help someone, whatever it is. That's part of it. We all sign a soul contract coming into this consciousness. We
Mhm.
don't know how long we're going to be here for. We don't know. Hopefully, people find their purpose, what they're here to do. But these kids that die young and the famine and all of this other, that's their contract. That's what they signed up for. And
Yep.
that's it.
Yep. Yep.
Period.
That's what I believe.
Me too. I'm right there with you. Masculine energy is often misunderstood as well, sometimes seen as toxic or rigid. We've heard toxic masculinity, all these things. How do you define healthy masculine energy and its role in personal and relational healing?
Okay, so let's put this out there first.
Uh-huh.
Let's say that masculinity is not ever toxic
Uh-huh.
and
Okay.
femininity not ever toxic,
Okay.
because that those two words put together put a staple on something that is not the case, right?
Okay.
The human ego that is toxic, right?
Yep.
That expresses toxicity outwards, but like
Mhm.
masculinity and femininity is the most beautiful energies that we embody, and we embody both of those energies within us.
Right.
Every single person, we have masculine and we have feminine. It's all about the balance within. So in a masculine relationship and feminine dynamic, right? If you're talking about relationships,
Mhm.
right? For a woman to be in her full comfort of being in her feminine energy, then the man has to provide that safety, the safe space, that container of allowance and allowing the woman to be wild, right?
Mhm.
And it's like we have gotten told that our emotions are crazy and that moods are just too much and they were too much. That's the beauty. That is our superpower. We are incredibly intuitive and connected in ways that men will never understand.
Mhm.
And a man needs to understand that if he can hold that space for that woman and allow her to have that wild energy of the ups and downs and the flows and the all of that, then the woman will be able to fully nurture and support that man in a way that the man would never get from another man, from another business partner. Nobody. That woman can provide that man stability to the nervous system. After stressful days of work, like ideas, right? The right way to go, because a woman is the most connected. We rule the spiritual realm and men rule third dimensional realm. So we know if that is a bad person, don't go do that deal with that person. Once we're completely balanced in ourselves and the man is completely balanced in himself, then we are able to be that perfect support system, that perfect team for each other. But when it becomes imbalanced, then it literally is like what happened to me. I was burnt out, right? Because I was wearing man hat all day, controlling a company, having employees and telling them to do this. I was always in that seat, in control and running the show. And it was like that man energy took a hold of me and pushed me into my masculine. So I became this hard, cold, just this stone. That's very toxic for me as a woman, because I was way more in masculine than I was feminine. And in a relational dynamic, when the woman is more in masculine than feminine, then the man will match that, vice versa, right? So if a man is in feminine energy, the woman is going to match that in masculine, and that is going to miss and hit every single time. So it's understanding that balance. So for a woman that is a CEO or an entrepreneur or work, we do have to have our masculine hat on as we're running the company. But it's very important for us to take that space when we get home from work, maybe to soak our feet in some water, to return back into that nurturing, soft, strong energy. But it takes that like awareness to be able to shift, or else that we will continue to carry that man hat through our being a mom, through being like the wife. Like we will continue to wear that man hat in the places where you're not supposed to wear it. So it's really a perfect balance between both energies that make the complete person.
So in corporate or in business, do you see a shift happening where women aren't having to adopt this masculine energy and they can step more into their feminine energy in the corporate, in the boardroom, whatever word you want to use?
Maybe it's like a sliver of shift getting there.
Do you think we ever will?
No, I think we will. I think we will, because I think that we're coming into a place of awareness where we're understanding the superpower of a man and the superpower of a woman, and it's not the same. A woman can run a company, but she runs it completely different than a man who's a company, right? So there is qualities in each that is great and great, right? So it's, once we can understand that and not try to make the woman a man, right? And then have the woman be the understanding that I don't have to be the man, right? Because it is hard for a woman, right? Incredibly freaking hard. I look the way that I look, right? So it's people, obviously they judge. Automatically, I'm judged. I'm the stereotypical, I'm a bitchy, stupid, ditzy, blah, blah, blah. All those stupid stereotypes that, so it's like, when I walk into a room, sometimes I have to take that into accountability and present and hold myself in a different way that is not true to who I really am, because it will not be read by the other people in the room appropriately, right? Once we can have all of this come into awareness of everybody, then we can start honoring these different parts of ourselves and making each other more comfortable to actually be in those energies, right? Because it's very uncomfortable for a woman to be in her soft feminine energy board meeting. The men will run all over her, or maybe they'll hit her, or maybe they'll look at her like she ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's because of these stereotypes and the way that society has been for so long that has caused us to have to be different, right? But I think that this is the year of exposure and breaking down these systems of fakeness, and for the real start really standing up. So I do think it's going to change. I hope it does.
I do too. I believe it will. That's got to be absolutely exhausting for women to have to put on this fucking mask, behave in the masculine. That's not who women are. They're not. Yes, they have masculine energy within them, absolutely, but they are not men. And they shouldn't have to put on this mask and act this way. They should be able to be who they truly, authentically are. And so I think we need to continue having these fucking conversations to bring awareness to people, to plant seeds for people that, no, this doesn't work anymore. It does not work.
No, I think it's being exposed. I think a lot more people are waking up right now. And I think that the energy of what's happening is not going to allow people to stay asleep much longer.
Yeah. Well, I think there'll be people who won't wake up, and that's okay. That's their path. That's their journey. But for those of you who do, get the fuck on the bus. There's more than enough room for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
We need it.
Yeah.
If
Seriously.
if the younger version of you, the one lost in the partying, the pain, the emptiness, could see you now, what do you think she'd say to you?
Yeah, but it's not. What's what I was saying? No, literally, that's I just heard it. That's like my 19-year-old self saying, it's because I for in a million years would have thought that I would end up here. That's why I want to spread my talk and my life so far, because I didn't think I was literally sitting in Bali at this mansion of this owner. He was an owner of a retreat center that I went to. I was after speaking at a huge summit, and I'm sitting just looking at the beautiful nature, this beautiful house, and I'm starting to bawl. I just bawl crying because I'm like, how the fuck did I get here? And get here. You know what I'm saying? I was in jail. I thought that I was a piece of shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, how am I sitting in Bali right now after speaking in front of tons of people at this mansion with these people, these high vibrational people? It was so trippy for me to sit there and like,
I'm sure.
whoa. So it's trippy. It's trippy.
Yeah.
So I didn't expect it.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised. My younger self would be like, damn.
If you could plant a single seed in the minds and hearts of everyone listening to our episode, a question, a challenge, or a truth that would haunt them, inspire them, and push them to grow, what would it be?
I would say, what if that painful thing that you've been running from your whole life, what if your purpose was inside of that pain? What would happen? What would your life be? What would your life be if you reached into that painful moment and you pulled out the most powerful energy that you've ever lived in your life, and it just aligned you to the most best, incredible, magical life that you've ever experienced? What if? What if? That's what I would ask.
Beautiful. Yeah. What do you think your unique skill set or superpower is that's helped you become successful?
Oh man, probably more than a million lifetimes on the planet. Like the trauma, the suffering, the torturous life of it. Well, let me see. I don't know. It's my drive and need for truth. And just, I want truths to be exposed because I never had anyone to lean on. I never understood any of this work. I never had just the roadmap to get to a better place. And I just want to provide that and expose that for people, that it's there, that we are never stuck, that we are never limited, and that anything is possible. So I just want that message to get literally imprinted in every single beautiful soul that is walking on the planet.
It's everybody's birthright. It is your fucking birthright to have the most incredible, beautiful, magical life you could ever dream.
It is. It is. When it can happen. I'm living it. Living proof.
How do you define success, Elisabeth?
Peace. Peace within is success. Peace within. Yeah.
Okay. What does the word empowerment mean to you?
Empowerment. Man, it's feeling that energy of your message and walking in that energy is empowerment to me.
Wow, that is powerful. I love that. Okay, we're going to jump into a little rapid fire section. So the next grouping of questions just be 1, 2, 3 word answer type thing. Okay.
Okay.
What is your favorite way to celebrate?
With my.
Okay. One word to describe your 2025.
Ooh. Oh, God. I don't even shoot. Powerful.
Okay. If you could teach the world one thing, what would it be?
Healing.
One book that changed your life.
The Power, A New Earth, Eckhart Tolle.
If you could be remembered for one thing, what would it be?
Helping massive amounts of people heal.
One thing that you love about yourself that is not related to your physical appearance.
My brain and my quick-witted answer.
One word that defines the woman you are becoming.
Embodied.
That concludes our rapid fire section. Now back to our regularly scheduled program. What is one habit, ritual, or practice that has been a game changer in your personal growth?
My dance party walks.
All right. If you could step into my shoes, what is one question you would ask yourself that I didn't ask you?
Oh, man, you've asked so many great questions, though. I think you've really tapped on all the questions. I'm not really sure.
All right. I received that. Thank you very much. I'll take that as a huge compliment. So thank you. If you had the opportunity to sit down and have a 1-hour conversation with one woman Any woman in the world, who would it be and why?
That's deep. Probably at this point, I would say Elena Cardone. Like is it Elaine or Elena? I don't know, but she is a woman out here empowering so many other women. I just find that really fascinating and inspiring. So
Okay.
at this point, I would say her just for right
Okay.
now.
What is your why?
My son, and knowing that people don't have to suffer.
Okay. If you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would that piece of advice be?
Just, it's going to be okay. I wouldn't take back any of the choices that I made because it would have led my life differently.
Mm-hmm.
So everything's going to be fine. You're going to be good, and you're going to be better than good. You're going to be magical. You're going to be a magical fairy walking around in your magical playground.
Love it. Lastly, Elisabeth, if you were to deliver your last 30-second speech to the world, your corner of the world, your tribe, your people, what would that last 30 seconds sound like? What words of wisdom would you impart?
Man, just that anything is possible. The only thing stopping you is you. And anybody can come from any walk of life, whether it be from a rich family, a broke family, and a family where you were completely abused, or maybe you were just lifted and pedestalized. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you are, what color skin you have, what culture you come from, what country you're in. Literally, you have the power to create your reality, to live your best life. It all starts with you and your world inside. That is it. You have the power.
Beautiful. Elisabeth, thank you so very much. I have enjoyed every minute of our conversation. It has been so powerful, inspiring, insightful. I am honored to have had the opportunity to sit down and speak with you. Thank you for showing up and shining and sharing your beautiful light that you put out into the world through the work you do. I am honored to call you a friend and to have you as a member of the Empowerography community.
Yes, I appreciate you so much. And I knew that we were same vibe, or for me that we talked.
Thank you. Once again, my name is Brad Welsh, host of your Empowerography podcast, a platform that was created to help elevate and amplify the voices of women through sharing their stories. Today, my guest has been Elisabeth Carson. She is a global speaker, entrepreneur, founder of Enhanced Flow, which is a movement helping people rebuild their lives from inside out by aligning mind, body, and soul. Her work bridges neuroscience, trauma healing, emotional mastery, and biohacking, uniting science and spirituality through lived experience and personal transformation. Thank you so much, Elisabeth. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day.
Thank you. You too. Awesome.
Thank you very much for listening to this podcast. If you haven't yet, please be sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share with all your friends. You can find me at visuphoria.ca, follow me on Instagram at Empowerography Podcast, and on Facebook at Empowerography. Please join me next time for another inspirational story from yet another amazing woman.